Hey guys! So this is a video I've been wanting to film for a long time, but I've been procrastinating forever because I do not want to look back at my past self. But here we are. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go through with it. I'm gonna just muscle. I'm just gonna what's that phrase? I'm gonna keep on trucking. When I was 13 years old, I got my very first laptop on my birthday, and I began to write a lot, and I wanted to be an author. I don't know why, I just did. I thought I was a great artist, or great writer. This was before I started getting really into drawing. I did draw, but I just started, you know, like preferring to write. And I just found a lot of my very old writing. A lot of this is over 10 years old. So I was around 13 or 14. And this is just some of it. I mean, I have some really old writing, but that is in my first laptop that I can't even access right now. So we're just gonna have to settle with this. So, just warning you, I didn't read a lot of this because I wanted to kind of experience it with you guys. But I read some of it. It's not great. It is very cringy. I don't like to use that word, but that's what this is. So please just keep on trucking with me. Please tell me somebody knows that reference. So the first story I wanted to read is titled, "These Glasses Aren't Even Real." Okay, let's read. This is the very first story on this website that I posted. So it's titled, "This Can't Be True." This was posted July 8th, 2009. So, cool. Ready? Let's get into it. "You think I would be making this up?" he asked me. "My little brother was killed." Killed! Why would I make this up? He asked, trying to cool himself down. Oh, I need to do my reading voice. He asked, trying to cool, I don't know, man. "If you really want to see him, go dig up his grave," he screamed and ran off towards his house, but he stopped and looked back at me. "Bleep you to hell," he screamed and continued to run off. It was actually bleep, like I don't know if I was able to curse. I don't think so. I don't know, man. But it was just like the little asterisks or whatever. "I stood there motionless for a long time." Okay, I read that right. "I really did think it was a joke. I thought sometime around then, hidden cameras were going to pop out and some creepy guy was going to tell me I was just punked by my still alive boyfriend. But then Tanner would pop out from behind a bush or something and grin at me with that gorgeous grin he wore when he looked at me." That grin. A lot of this is romance stuff. I did not get into my first relationship until I was like 21. So this was all just fantasy. "That grin that lifted my heart, and I would know he really did love me. And even though I might have been humiliated on national or international television, I would still run to him and throw my arms around his neck, and I'd tell him to not scare me like that again." Every time I hear or I read somebody say around their neck, I always picture strangling. I don't know. Like, I know it's a hugging thing, but it just, that's what I think. Where is it? "I know I'd still have a chance with him in the future, for our future together. Then I'd kiss him and rest my head on his chest with tears running down my cheeks. Not tears from humiliation in front of millions of viewers, not tears of anger for my boyfriend to make me cry and think he was dead on international television." Am I just repeating? "But tears of joy." I feel so awkward reading this. "Even though I thought he was dead a few minutes ago, I wouldn't care, because he would still be alive. He only did this because he loved me and wanted to see that I really loved him. That is messed up. Do not fake your death to see how your significant other would react. That is a terrible idea. Don't do it. And yes, it was true." My voice. "I did love him more than anyone else, but as I stood there waiting, nothing happened. I waited for 10 minutes. I'm sure they would have not kept the cameras rolling for that long." She waited for 10 minutes, dude. That's a long time to wait. "All that started to happen was rain. I remember the last time it rained for me. Tanner came up soaking wet, but he didn't come out. I'm sure the cameras wouldn't be allowed to get wet. What? Okay. Suddenly, my heart began to beat faster and faster. That usually happened when Tanner was near. Okay. I quickly looked around to check if he was near, but he was nowhere in sight. It was clear to me that my heart was only panicking from all of this. I thought I was going to have a heart attack. I found myself running many blocks in the rain, crossing slippery streets, almost getting hit by a truck, but that didn't stop me. I'm not reading this right. I ran for countless amounts of blocks until finally I found a tall barred gate where you could see the large area of green. Interesting way of describing that. I quickly found the opening and ran inside the cemetery. I didn't know where he would be buried. Where was she when her boyfriend was buried? Was she not invited to the funeral? I don't remember any of this, by the way. Like, I don't remember any. I can't tell you where she was. I didn't know where he would be buried, if he was dead, but it didn't really matter. It was as if my legs had minds of their own and ran anywhere they felt like running, while I kept a good eye on my heart. If my heart could detect him from a few blocks away, I knew I could find him if he was buried underground. Buried underground. I don't know how to pronounce that word, but oh my god, imagine if you knew, like, even if you couldn't see your significant other, but if your heart started beating really fast, you knew they were around, even if they were underground. That is a superpower. That is so weird. My 13-year-old, 14-year-old mind was like, this is what love is. This has to be what it is. My legs ran around. I didn't know where I was going. No one was there. I was alone in the hard, freezing rain. But suddenly my heart began to thud against my chest and my legs stopped in front of the new gravestone. Tanner Kenny. That was the name it read on the gravestone. I thought I would fall down to my own death right then and there. I knew it had to be a joke. If he really did pass away, someone would have called me, or a personal message would have come to me, telling me that the love of my life was dead. Maybe like a text? I don't know. Oh yeah, they would have invited me to his funeral because I was the love of his life. Why wasn't she invited? It wouldn't have been fair or kind or forgiving if they kept me away from his funeral. He loved me so much. Everyone knew that. Everyone knew that. The way he looked at me, the way he watched me climb into the car that night. Everyone knew he was in great pain that day. They knew he loved me. They all knew he loved me. Oh, I think she did go away for like the summer or something. Now that I think that's what happened. Why didn't they tell her? It would only be right to let me see him in his coffin if he really died. I knew he wasn't dead. I knew for sure he wasn't dead. Because on the gravestone where it said great son and wonderful student, it didn't say beloved boyfriend. And I knew Tanner would tell everyone when he dies he wanted to be remembered as mine, as Don Williams' love. Oh my god, imagine. That, I don't know if that's a thing. There's no way, right? Has there ever? Okay, I guess there has to be couples who like say beloved boyfriend or girlfriend on their, or you know, on their tombstones, but that is so funny. If I die, I don't know if I want to be say I don't know if I want beloved girlfriend on my tombstone. No offense, Greg. I waited there, still looking for the hidden cameras, but as I looked down, my heart still thud, and it thudded harder each time I thought of him being underground in the coffin. I don't know if my heart knew, but I knew I didn't want to believe it. Tanner Kenny wouldn't leave me here, with the thoughts of my future with him shattering. God wouldn't do this. He loved all of us. If he really loved me, he wouldn't take Tanner away. Tanner was my life. I wasn't even religious when I wrote this, so maybe it was. I don't know. Or she could have been religious. I don't remember, man. I don't remember this character at all. I dreamed of his proposal. I dreamed of our wedding. I dreamed of our honeymoon. I dreamed of our house. I dreamed of our children. Hell, I dreamed of our pet dog. God knew I wanted to spend the rest of my life with Tanner Kenny as being Mrs. Kenny. He wouldn't take my future away. He wouldn't take my beloved away from me. That would be cruel and unfair. Do you like how the very first story I'm reading to you guys is of a guy dying? Like, Like, this is still me. Like, I still kill my characters off. Who's Papaya, right? So, like, that's so fun. I don't know. Anyways, Tanner always told me life was never fair. Oh, my Tanner. I stood there for at least half an hour, looking down. Under that very floor was Tanner Kenny. Stop saying his name. I even thought of finding a way to dig him up and holding him, which is also not, you know, grammatically correct, but also gross. I didn't even think of how gross it would be. It was Tanner. All I wanted to do was to hold him tightly and cry into his shirt. I wanted him to stroke my hair back and tell me that everything was gonna be alright. I wanted him to kiss me and carry me, cradling me like a baby. I don't even get cradled like a baby. What the heck kind of relationship do I have if I'm not even cradled like a baby once in a while? I wanted him to take me far away from this nightmare. That's when I thought this was all probably just a horrible dream. I pinched myself, I slapped myself, I stabbed myself with a pointed stick. Yes, I really stabbed myself, and yes, my palm started to bleed. But then I knew this wasn't a dream and it wasn't a trick. Do not do that. My life flashed before my eye. Am I gonna get demonetized? Please don't demonetize me, it's just a story. I didn't do this. I'm not endorsing this. My life flashed before my eye. Just one of the eye. And in my memories, Tanner was there with me. From kindergarten to that last day we saw each other, the day I hated so much during the summer. The day I never wanted to happen. It was the last day I would ever see Tanner, with his naturally white hair blowing in the cool wind and his watery blue eyes sparkling at me. His lips slightly apart. That is also a detail we need to have in here. I could have ran to him and had the perfect shape of lips to kiss. Oh, so romantic. I fell to my knees and threw my arms around the gravestone, thinking it would feel like throwing my around Tanner. Just throwing my around Tanner. I don't know if anyone was there, thinking I was a freak or hugging a rock. But I didn't care about anyone or anything else. I knew cameras wouldn't pop up. I knew Tanner wouldn't run to me and hold me and apologize for tricking me in such a cruel way. All I knew was that I'd never see my baby again. I began to sob. Everything, even I, was wet. Was soaking wet. Oh wait, was wet. Soaking wet. I didn't move. Why did I say it like that? Not even if all those yucky worms were going to pop out of the dirt. Not even if the dirt around me was turning into squishy mud. I sat there on my knees, hugging that rock, sobbing, calling out for Tanner. Why am I looking at the camera? Waiting for God to take me next. Oh, I can't read this stuff. I'm gonna get demonetized. I'd off myself if I couldn't see Tanner again. I didn't want to live without him. Not only did I lose my boyfriend, but I lost my future husband, the future father to my kids, but I also lost my best friend, the only friend I had. You need more friends than just your significant other. It's the healthy thing. He was the only one who accepted me for who I was, and he was gone. How was I supposed to live my life now, knowing I'd never hear his voice again? Can you not? There's a fly in here. And I don't know where you were this whole time, but he came out now, so I'll never look into those gorgeous watery blue eyes again. I'll never kiss those soft lips of his, and I'll never be kissed back. I'll never hold him, and he'll never hold me, never again. I stayed there for hours. I had cried all my tears, and I had the biggest headache in my life. My eyes were bloodshot from all those hot, salty tears. Those tears that Tanner would have wiped away if he were here. I didn't move, I didn't care, I wasn't hungry, I wasn't thirsty, I wasn't going home. No, I wasn't going home. I stayed there, sometimes changing my position to get comfortable, but I didn't move from that spot. I stayed there until the moon came up. I didn't even move. I put on the hood of my sweater and lay down on the wet grass, the rain still falling. I lay on my side and stared at the gravestone. I sighed and closed my eyes, and before drifting to sleep, I said, "I love you, Tanner," and I fell into a deep sleep. He did. Author notes. Ooh, okay. Please, okay, this is me talking, like me, Leslie, 13, 14-year-old Leslie. Please comment this story on the story. It means a lot to me. By the way, if anyone has gone through this, can you comment this story? I would like to know how it must feel to lose someone very close to you. P.S. My favorite color is cerise. Cool! What a fun fact, Leslie. Would you guys be down for more of this? Because I am so into this. It's embarrassing, but like, okay, that story was not that embarrassing. Like, it was a little bit, but not that bad. But I've like scrolled through some that are terrible. So I found, you remember if you guys watched my video on artists who broke my heart, I talk about an author, a writer, some dude who tore apart my fan fiction thing of me hanging out with like Sonic and friends, you know, Tails, Knuckles, and stuff like that. I found it. It's here. So, if you would like me to keep doing this, please let me know, and please say you want me to keep doing this. The next one I do, I promise I'll start off with the Sonic story. So, that's it. Did you guys see the fly? Thank you so much for watching. Please be kind in the comments. And please be good outlets for me. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.